Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It's time for the morning word. So rise and shine, little darling. It's the 13th day of November, and it's time to get it on. Hope you guys had a great weekend, a great Veterans Day weekend. Hope you remembered the veterans. Thank you for joining us this morning. Look at Josh. Josh was sitting on G waiting on O. There he is right there. First man up to bat. Good morning, Josh. How you doing, my man? There my man Al is. Good morning to y'all. Josh and Al and Gary, Skipper. How are y'all? Elaine, good morning. Ron Bowers. Ron, are you still up in North Dakota? Hey, Jana. Jim Allen, good morning. Hey, Brandy, get your coffee. Get your Bible. We're going to be in Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21. Hey, Diane, Daryl, good morning. Jamie, what are you doing in North Carolina? Good morning, Gail Dogan. Camellia Ball, good morning. Excuse me. Hey to you, Brandy, good morning. Hey, buddy. Tell him, Kim, rise and shine. Hey, Shay, Elaine. Tina, I don't know when Cowboys are going to go see the surgeon, but he needs a Medrol dose pack today. Hey, Linda. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Alexa, good morning to you. Good morning, Heather, to you and your crew, all the guys and girls. What's up, Rob? I hope your recovery's going well, buddy. Good morning, Daphne. Good to see you this morning. Daphne, I ran into your beautiful daughter the other day and her boyfriend. He was sitting in the car. He dropped her off to get them some chicken salad chick. And that baby's cute as a litter of speckled puppies. And she just cute. We just had a nice little chat there and caught up on what's all going on with you guys. And you tell her that I said, PR said that I'm tickled for her and her getting ready to make plans to get married and excited for them. I know she's ready. Hey, Deb. Hey, Francis. Hey, Tammy Mac. Yeah, you in rehab, Rob? Hey, brother, let me tell you something. I did me a few weeks in rehab up there in Northport. Tell them Miss Faye hit the ground running. And that was the better days of my days. I was ready to get out of that place. They did a good job. The people at Northport Rehab, I got to tip my hat to them. They did a good job by me. They carried me to rehab more than I wanted to go. I'll put it that way. And they didn't put up with no mess. They said you can do it here in the room or you can do it down the hallway, but you're going to do it. And that's how it was. Hey, Robin. Look at Chris Miller. Rise and shine, my man. Yes, she is. Let's go, Chris. Hey, Phyllis. All right, you guys ready? Let's get our cups up. Toast to the morning word crowd. God bless you and God bless America. Here we go. If you're wondering what's on this cup, this is my family, Beth's family. That's Clay, my mama, Beth's daddy. Let's see, Jesse with her baby. Beth and me on one side. That's Beth's mom with Rhett, my grandson. And that's Beth and Jesse and Beth's mom. So, long story, but we got the cup. All right, here we go. Luke 21. Now, let's go. Let's start with verse 8. We're going to skip around a little bit. We're going to skip some verses. So, verse 8, and he said, take heed that you do not be deceived. Days of deception. We're living in them right now. Take heed that you be not deceived, for many will come in my name, saying, I am he, and that the time is drawn near. Therefore do not go after them. That's false Christ and false messiahs. But when you hear of wars and commotions, have we? Are we? Do not be terrified. Do not be terrified. Do not be terrified. For these things must come to pass first, but the end will not come immediately. In other words, we are in the last days, but we are not at the end yet. some other things are going to occur. Now, I want you to go down, and he says that we will be persecuted. We're going to see fearful sights and great signs from heaven. And we're going to be brought before kings and rulers for his name's sake. Now, in verse 13, it said, but it will turn out for you as an occasion for testimony. Therefore, settle it in your hearts not to meditate beforehand on what you will answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries will not be able to contradict or resist. Verse 16, not to scare you, but to help you understand that lines will be drawn. Lines will be drawn into who you are following and what you believe in. Verse 16, you will be betrayed. You will be betrayed, even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends. And they will put some of you to death, and you will be hated for my name's sake, but not a hair of your head shall be lost, and by patience possess your souls. So during these times, lines are drawn. We can see it now. Pro-Hamas, pro-Israel, pro-Palestinians, pro-Israel, Christianity, liberality. We see the conservatives and the liberals. We see lines being drawn in America. We see lines being drawn in Israel. We see lines being drawn in the nations, those that are against Israel, those that are for Israel. So we see all these lines that are being drawn, and people are having to identify themselves by what they believe in and who they stand for and what they stand against. Verse 20, but when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation is near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let those who are in the midst of her depart, and let those who are in the country not enter her. Verse 22 is where I want you to draw your attention. For these are the days of vengeance. The days of vengeance. Well, who's carrying out the vengeance? Exactly. God is. The days of vengeance. God is going to carry out his vengeance against the nations. Two particular reasons. Their treatment of the Christians and their treatment of the Jews. Period. And their treatment with regards to their rejection of Christ. So what we're entering into now is the table is being set for God to execute his vengeance. All right. And so we go over now, and it says in verse 25 that we're going to see signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. I'm not going to go there. But you need to be paying attention to astronomical signs, oddities, things that we know that we should be able to glean and put together that are pointing towards the return of Christ. These are all listen, the world, the lost world, does not see this, but God gives them a testimony anyway. They don't receive this. These signs are for Christians. Why do I say that? Because he says in verse 28. Now, when these things happen, what things? Persecution, deception, lines being drawn, astronomical signs, wars, rumors of wars, commotions, perplexity, nations perplexed. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? He says, when you see these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads because your redemption draws nigh. Your redemption draws nigh, meaning Christ is coming back. On the heels of this. Now watch. But verse 34, this is where the morning word is. All that's kind of preemptive and setting it up. But take heed to yourselves. Who's he talking to? He's talking to his disciples and his followers. But take heed to yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down with carousing, drunkenness, and cares of this life, and that day come on you unexpectedly. For it will come as a snare on all those who dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch therefore and pray always that you be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. I prayed that very prayer this morning. Lord, find me and find my family worthy to escape the wrath that it is to come. The day of God's vengeance on this earth visited against the Gentile nations in particular, and the grafting in of the Jews. God's going to bring them through this time of wrath and bring them to faith. That's what this time is for, and to pay back the nations. Now, Yesterday we had a guest speaker, Bruce Plummer, our Native American Indian up in Montana that we're connected with. And he mentioned that day. And that's exactly what it said right here in verse 34. But take heed to yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down with carousing, drunkenness, and cares of this life, and that day come on you unexpectedly. He said that Bruce was telling us, for our instruction, that all of the disciples that Jesus raised up, the 12, they lived their life in the context of 2 days. 2 days, this day and that day. Meaning that we should live our life this day like that day is tomorrow. They lived in anticipation of that day. The disciples, after the death, burial, resurrection of Christ, they lived in the constant anticipation of his return. And that served as a means for encouraging them to live for the Lord and to be ready for the Lord when he returns. It plays a big role in our sanctification. I tell this joke all the time, but it's not a joke, it was true. A buddy of mine, Larry Ham, y'all have heard me tell this before. I see him at the gym 3 or 4 days a week. His daddy was Jack Ham, that was on the radio back in the 70s on Surp Sarper and WACT. And he had the Jack Ham radio show. He was a believer. And he said, Larry said, every Friday and Saturday night, after I ate supper at home, he said I would go down the hallway to brush my teeth, put on a little cologne, and I was going out. Y'all know what out means, right? He said my daddy, every time he got ready to say something important, would clear his throat. And he said, when I came out of the bathroom, and he said, Randy, this is without fail, every single time. On Friday or Saturday night, when I came out of the bathroom and I was headed for that carport door, he said my daddy would fall in behind me. I hear his footsteps, and he'd clear his throat like this. He said, Larry, I know where you're going, son. And he said, I need you to remember something. He said, Jesus might come back tonight. And I can just about assure you that he ain't coming in those places where you're going. Now, Larry said that scared me. He said, it scared me that he just might come. He said, it didn't scare me so bad that I didn't go. But here's what he said. He said, it scared the fun out of it. He said, all during my drinking and partying, he said, there was a little thought in the back of my mind. What if Jesus comes back tonight? And here I am in this beer joint, or here I am with this girl, or here I am over there in this bed, and here I am over there in this party, and here I am over there. He said, my daddy sucked the fun out of all of sin. He sucked the fun out of sin for me, but I did it anyway. He said, but now I'm ready. He said, now I'm ready. Well, the other night we were at a wedding. We were at a wedding, and it's at the reception time, and y'all know how weddings are now. They're not like I guess they've always been that way, but the reception that we had, we sat around and made small talk and ate, mints and drank juice and ate cake. Baby, the wedding receptions now it's a full-blown party. And especially the ones that have bars, and this one had bar. This one had a bar. We were there. And so the alcohol is flowing. I got my son there, got my granddaughter there, got my children there. And that place started rocking with that music. And everybody likes to dance, So there was the partiers out there, and there was the non-partiers. Everybody was mixed together in the crowd. My son was dancing, my daughter was dancing, 2 of my daughters were dancing, and my granddaughter was dancing. So I was standing there and I was talking to my other daughter, and I said, this is what came to my mind. I was looking at this, and everybody's handing, and everybody's doing this, been there and done that. And I said, did you know the Bible says that Jesus told us, he said, it will be as it was in the days of Noah, marrying and giving in marriage. And I said, and everybody's going to be carrying on life like normal. He said, I'm coming at a time they're not expecting it. And I told her, I looked around over this crowd. I said, right now would be a prime time for Jesus to come back. I said, there ain't a sap-sucking soul on this hilltop right here that's thinking about Jesus, much less expecting him to come back. I said, this is it right here. And I heard the music stumping. It's loud. They got all these lights flashing. I mean, it was like a party. Party. And And everybody's out there, just that alcohol's flowing, and everybody's feeling it, and everybody's rocking their head, and everybody knows all the songs. I said, how y'all know those words of those songs? Of course, I'm out of the loop, you know. And, oh, Daddy, that's so-and-so. Oh, Daddy, that's so-and-so. Papa, that's so-and-so. I go, how in the crap do y'all know? And anyway, my point was this. Wasn't nobody thinking about Jesus. At that point in time, no one had Jesus on their mind. Well, the reason that Jesus gave us these signs in the skies, wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilence, earthquakes, love growing cold, lines being drawn, persecution. He said, when you see this, they need to be a warning sign to the Larry Hams and the Randy Fullers and y'all and all of us. They need to be a sign that I am on the verge of coming back at any minute. So don't let your hearts be weighed down. See, everybody say, don't talk about the end times. You make me scared. The only reason you should be scared is if you're not ready. And if you were like Larry Ham and me on many a night, if you're walking out of the house and easing up into them beer joints and getting about 12 deep, y'all know what I'm talking about? About 12 deep in that beer, and going home with folks you ain't married to, waking up with folks that wasn't even that first one. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And cutting up and cutting a rug. Then you need to be scared. It needs to suck the fun out of your partying. But if you know Jesus, it ought to stimulate you to get busy doing the work of the Lord, because we got friends and family. I was looking at them on that dance floor. They ain't saved. And if they are, they on precarious ground with regards to what they say they believe and how they live it. So my point is this. We need to be about our Father's work. And we need to be, it says when you see this stuff happening, look up. What does that mean? Live with the great expectation that Jesus is coming back at any moment. And if you got something to do, and we all do, get it done. Be getting it. Let him find us laboring in the harvest when he comes back. Living righteously, shining our light, sharing the gospel, and telling those that are around us, son, I know where you're going. And Jesus may come back tonight. And I got a feeling he ain't coming into them places where you're going. Live this day in anticipation of that day. And for the people that are ready, it's exciting. And for the people that aren't ready, it's going to suck the fun out of everything you do. I'll see you tomorrow. Good Lord willing,